Hell yeah. We're in the final chapter. Hopefully not too far from the finale of the game. I don't know why this game does not... detect my controller when I already have it plugged in, but oh well. Oh yes, the green dimension. We're gonna be going to the green dimension, everyone. A combative wolf, only for melee. Okay, so we're about to, okay, yeah, I'll just call you Cole from now on. We're about to try and recreate a crime scene from years ago. So let's see what Kay can do. Alright, Kay, if you could set Mr. Thief in motion. Sure, looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Where do you want to start? Good question, let's see. It seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Aldown? Really, game. But apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping. Uh-oh. So this is where we saw it all happen, huh? Here? As in the big building? No, construction of the big building had only begun a year ago. Wow, really? 51 floors in only a year? That's crazy. Yeah, most characters in this game, I would say every non-main character in this series has a pun-like name, so... Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that... Now we're getting to the stuff I know. 12 years ago, this place would have been... the happy family home. Uh-oh... So then... the culprit behind everything would have to have... The culprit behind everything has to be one of a kid, one of these kids probably, grown up. Like for retired people? No, it was a place for children without parents. Yep. An orphanage, in other words. The president was kidnapped from an orphanage. Yeah, the place was run by Fifi Lagarde. Oh, how convenient. She called it her happy little home. That's why she called the prison her home as well, because she was trying to go back to this, I guess. As a proprietor of the institution, I suppose it's understandable that she came under suspicion. There's the Judge MILF that I love so much. President Wong, Excelsius winner, and Warden Lagarde? Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Of course it is! Every final chapter of an Ace Attorney game has some kind of, like, case crossover between 1 and 2, between at least two other incidences that happened in the past. Okay, could you enter the data relating to the murder of Mr. Aldown? It seems sensible to assume that he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president. So if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping! Nice! Alright, we're counting on you. Yeah, they're either a pun or, yeah, like, very on the nose for what either their design is or what their personality is. Here we go, we're in the green dimension. Oh, that sucks. What the heck is this? When did I grow to become so blasé towards people's reaction to Mr. Thief? What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least as far as the police report describes it. Yeah, this is how it looked when they started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder. And it seems it had been snowing. Yeah, from what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day. In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by the snow, by new snow. I think we'll need to pay these footprints some special attention. Yeah! Okay, let's see what we can do. Nintendo Switch Pro controller, stop drifting. Thank you. How dare you, Scruffy! Don't you dare tell anybody, I'll just deny it anyway. Mr. Edgeworth, you gotta help me out here! What's the matter, Detective? It's about the SS5 incident, what else? I know Chairman Winter isn't in charge anymore and all. But a top secret file being available to us so quickly after his removal. Something seemed off. So that got me to thinking, and I put in a call and they told me that, well, that Miss Von Karma went to some pretty extreme lengths to get that file released. Curse you, Scruffy, I deny everything! Oh, sorry, I'm in the way, hold on. You can't really see them. There you go, that's them. Curse you, Scruffy! I deny everything! Sounds like you went to a lot of trouble for our sake, Franziska. Don't worry, your efforts won't be for nothing. I'll solve this case, you'll see. Okay. Whoop, there we go. What's this? Can I investigate this snowman? This looks like a snowman, but it's mostly melted. Well, it's no wonder he's all slushy. He's wearing a hat and a scarf. He must have been all real roasty toasty. Oh, look at his little cute little button eye just lying there. Excuse me, oh my god. He probably would have frozen back up again at dawn, you know? That's when it's usually coldest. I don't think that would have helped much, Mr. Edgeworth. If a melted snowman froze again, it wouldn't turn back into a snowman. It would turn into an Iceman. What? Is what I bet you wanted me to say, isn't it? Well, too bad. Alright, you. Boy, howdy, is this ever a scoop? Whole world's gone green. Must be an outbreak or something. I'm seeing green trees, green people, green clothes, everything. They must be real sick if even their clothes are green. Looks like we wound up slap bang in the middle of the right dang place at the right dang time. Sure did, Chief. I don't think we're gonna get a word in edgewise here, Mr. Edgeworth. And I don't think we want to. Yeah, we probably don't want to. Alright, oh my god, this beautiful woman. I love you! Can I help you, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, can I swallow you, please? I cannot thank you all enough for returning Sean safely to me. I can hardly bear to imagine how I would have felt if he had not come home. Hey, old guy, can't you see you're upsetting her? That was not my intent at all. Look at our little knight in shining armor defending his mom's honor. Shut up! I wouldn't have to if you didn't keep... That's enough, Sean. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll allow me. I would like to apologize again. I failed in my duty as a servant of justice. I will not ask you to forgive me. I only ask you to understand that. Judge Gavel, I don't presume to know the goddess of justice as well as you do. But she was a mother, was she not? Of other gods and goddesses?
She was.
Fair judgment requires personal circumstances to be taken into account. I'm sure she would understand. Perhaps your beloved goddess is more merciful than you give her credit for.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What are they even talking about?
Don't worry, Sean. I don't have a clue either.
Nice, Kay. So things are finally setting down after Warden Lagarde's trial?
It would seem so. Sentencing is still to come, but the guilty verdict should stand. And do not worry, Excelsius Winter's connection to the case will be thoroughly investigated. Have faith, Mr. Edgeworth. Eustace is a changed man.
Indeed, he simply had some growing to do. But then don't we all, Kay included?
Kind of feel for him now. I said some pretty mean things, but I'll make it up to him next time I get the chance. And I'm sure that chance will come, but for now...
Indeed, we need to focus on the case at hand.
Okay.
What do you gotta say, kid?
What do you want?
Sean, I wonder if you could tell us a little more about the circumstances surrounding your kidnapping.
They told you when you went to the garbage disposal, right? But what were you doing there?
It's alright, you don't have to talk for him. You can just ask me himself.
Hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? I think he's starting to warm to you.
To warm to you? Another classic typo. I went to the garbage disposal to throw away the flowers that were on the body. It wasn't far, and I figured they'd be less likely to find them there than if I threw them in the garbage can. I tried to get in there last night too, but it was locked. So you had to come back today and try again. Yeah, but when I was there, somebody came up behind me, put something over my face.
Oh yeah, snoozing is easy threezy with 3 Z's.
The fact that she was drugged with it too doesn't seem to bother her. I guess that it was a catchy name.
Hi, Droid, welcome back. We're playing some Ace Attorney. We're at the final chapter.
Wonder if whoever it was pretty strong, but I never saw their face. I see, thank you. That's very helpful. What can you tell us about the time between when you were kidnapped and when you were found?
Not a whole lot, I bet. Snoozing is easy. Really, Kay? Come on.
I remember waking up feeling cold. It was somewhere big and empty and dark. There were cardboard boxes with some other language written on them. I figured it must be a storeroom.
It's getting, it's a series that's been way more popular than Capcom has been treating it, basically, over the last decade. They finally only just released this specific game. This game's been out in Japan for like 13 years, and they only just released it here, like in September, so I'm playing this for the first time. But it was actually a giant refrigerator. Businesses use them to keep stuff chilled.
And that's where Kay and Detective Gumshoe found him. They really saved the day there. Guess the cooler must have been on until just before I was brought there. Like I said, it was pretty cold.
Just before you were brought there, huh?
Anyway, they didn't take my phone for some reason. So I used that to call for help. I see. Well, we're all very glad that you found your way back to us safely. Say it like you mean it, why don't you? He's not the most gracious child I've met.
Reminds me of a certain somebody else.
Okay, what's this? There are bird marks on this pillar here. Yeah, there's like a fire of some kind, maybe?
The report says there was a fire sometime on the evening of the incident.
A fire?
Let's see, where was it again? Ah! Yeah, one of the orphans set a fire with some kerosene.
Some sort of prank, probably. They sound like a lively bunch, possibly too lively. Seems their antics spoiled our chances of finding any footprints near the entrance of the building. Yeah, dang. So, did the kid... Yeah, the kid must have done that on purpose to try and... obscure something. These planters. That's... Oh my god, that's where the specific evidence was that, Excelsius dug up at the lot. According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage. And there were the 3 planters on each side. Yes, planters arranged in a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before. Yep, the footprints. Shame there aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the middle of winter. Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow. Weird, how come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it. That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family, Liliaceae? A lion lily, you say? Wait, didn't Judge Gavel give President Wong some lion lilies? What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence. I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child. Yep. The president Sean's also 13. Oh my god. Dude! Judge Gavel fucked a president? Holy shit. You go, girl. I wasn't aware you were so knowledgeable when it came to flowers, Franziska. What I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more. Big Gobbo? Yeah, I'm a big wide Gobbo. Hello, Pink Wizard. Hello, another fellow goblin here, huh? Hey, this arch. We've seen it somewhere before, right? Indeed we have. It's the same one that stands over the entrance of the big building today. But this is supposed to be how things looked 12 years ago. Was it there the whole time? Seems the architects worked the old archway into the structure of the new building. The future is simply the past reheated. I think I heard that somewhere. And for once, it seems you might have remembered it correctly. But 12 years is a long time to It's a long time to reheat something for. If it was your lunch, you'd be ruined. Of course. Look at that big polar bear. An igloo shaped like a bear? The perfect balance of cuteness and scariness. I guess you could call it a bigloo. It is quite large. You could probably fit as many as 3 people inside. Yeah, and they could live in there for 3 whole years. 3 years? And what about the summer? Wouldn't the big igloo melt? It started to rain. Uh-oh. Again. Say it again, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, one more time. Wouldn't the igloo melt? You're no fun. Alright, Eddie. What do you gotta say? Looks chillier than your chilliest look out here, Mauserino. Somebody might have to warm me up. Sorry, again, you can't really see him. Okay, don't worry, droid. Could you maybe take this a little more seriously, Mr. Fender? For you, K-Meister, anything. Can't believe this whole sorry tale began right here. Kinda crazy, right? Yes, it is a little. What were Feeps and the chairman up to, though? Where were they going with all this? Where indeed? I'd very much like to know that myself. And I'd very much like to know when you two are going to admit how much you love Uncle Eddie. Not anytime soon. Come on, Mr. Fender. You're not taking this seriously at all. You did for about 3 sentences, which is something for a record. Turtle. A tortoise and a hare, inspired by the children's story, no doubt. The tortoise races the speedy hare and wins. Alright, time for K Faraday pop quiz. Why did the hare lose the race? I'll give you 3 options. I don't need 3 options, Kay. He lost because he stopped to rest and fell asleep. Number 1, the hare's favorite running shoes were stolen by the Yatagarasu. Number 2, the tortoise trained with the Yatagarasu and got too fast that he won. Number 3, the real winner was the Yatagarasu, who plotted a surprise secret victory. Those are my only 3 options? Too hard? Alright, I'll give you a hint. The option you're looking for starts with the... Well, that definitely narrows it down. Come on, Kay, you're not taking this seriously now. I'm just talking to everyone first, before I do stuff. 3 planters covered with snow. Is anything the matter, Agent Lang? Yeah, something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now. Indeed, you have Chairman Winner to thank for that, it seems. Yeah, but what's weird is I've seen this scene somewhere before. What? But where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone. He appears to be lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now. Should I? Or do you want me to? President Wong changed after the SS5 incident. I guess he felt his trust had been betrayed. I can understand that. But to cut ties with my family completely? After how close we'd been all those years? My father was desperate to make amends, to get just one chance to say sorry. But no matter how many times he tried to get an audience with the president, he couldn't. He couldn't even convince them to take a letter to him. One time he came home covered in bruises. Who knows from where? A bodyguard, maybe? Sorry. There's no point making you sit through old stories that won't change anything anyway. I'll be the judge of that. As warm and fuzzy as ever, I see. Not that I expected any different. That case ruined my father, and my family too. The people who failed to keep the president safe. That's all we were after. He threw himself heart and soul into that investigation. He became obsessed, in other words, hardly the best state of mind in which to undertake an inquiry. Wow, you really don't pull your punches, huh? Look, just don't go thinking I'm only doing this because of my dad, okay? That investigation was solid. His work was meticulous, and it was accurate. It always was. He interviewed every single one of those kids, and he made sure they told him everything. I wonder if you learned anything of value. Okay. What do you have to say, dude? Shifu, I know it's rude of me to ask, but can we count off for old time's sake? Just once, I'm begging you. For old time's sake? Seems a little sentimental, but fine. Count off. 1! Sorry, Shifu. It doesn't feel the same on my own. It's kinda lonely. Fool, it shouldn't matter if there's only 1 or 100. You may be on your own here right now, but the pack is always with you. So quit whining about being lonely and howl like you mean it. Count off. 1. 1. 1. 1. Is he crying? Can I? Oh no. Let's see. Anything else? Swing maybe? He's a cute elephant on the swing. It's a porch swing with an elephant's face on it. And behind it is what... Oh, whoops. And behind it is what appears to be a motor. You know what every dedicated swing fiend always wonders, don't you? If they can swing all the way over the top and back again. Maybe a motorized swing could finally make that dream come true. Wouldn't that be a little dangerous? And what dream isn't? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. True, but hardly applicable in this case. Okay, did I investigate everything? I think so. Looks like it, yeah, okay. All fall down. The man who witnessed the president's kidnapping. What a name. But what exactly did he see? I based this part off the recreation on one of the crime scene photos. Seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head with a brick. Yeah, from the brick right there. They figured it must have been taken from here in the yard. Looks like the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area. Here, a gift for you. This is Mr. Alldown's autopsy report. 1 a.m. on February 10th, okay. The brick, maybe? This was the brick used in the murder. Okay. There's stuff made from bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby, huh? Yeah, one of these planters, or maybe another one? Somebody dropped a yellow flower here. It's a lion lily, right? According to Francesca, yes. They're originally from Asia, if I recall correctly. Yep, and she said it symbolizes the pond between being painted or tilled, right? It was the bond between parent and child, Kay. His cell phone? His cell phone must have belonged to the victim. You're right. Yeah, it says here in the file that Mr. Alldown made a call while he was watching the kidnapping. A call to whom? His girlfriend. Seems he called her when he saw that the president was there. But she didn't pick up, so he left a message. That's in here too, if you want to hear it. Please. Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something weird's going on. President Wong is here for some reason, and there's another. Damn it, the light's out, so I couldn't quite see, but it looks like he was being kidnapped? Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should let you know. And then he got hit by something. What were those sounds at the end? He must have been attacked while he was still on the phone. Agent Lang, can I ask you something? Mr. Alldown's girlfriend, what was her name? Ringer. Rosie Ringer. At least that's what I heard. Yep. Just as I thought. Wait, you mean... A revenge for what happened 12 years ago. Yeah. So she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winner, wasn't she? Perhaps it was for his suppression of the kidnapping. Or perhaps it was because Sue? Another typo. She thought he was one of the kidnappers. Well, he probably was. It was probably all three of them. I can't examine... Oh, I have to examine the footprints outside of this guy. So the victim was carrying a camera? Oh yeah, according to the file, they recovered a picture. Yeah, here we are. Who is that? That's... And why is there a mark on the snowman? It's the president, right? And somebody's pointing a gun at him. That must be what Mr. Alldown witnessed. So the person in the trench coat is the kidnapper? Yes, I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. But if Agent Long's father's theory was correct, the person wearing the trench coat is Warden the guard. Okay. How come they only found the one picture? He probably wasn't able to take any more before he was attacked. Okay. All fell down. Freelance journalist. I can't say that without grinning. Killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wong. Even in the recreation, it's pretty gruesome, huh? It's even worse in the actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood. Seems mostly to have come from the back of his head. As you can see, that area is completely caked. Yeah, the autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick. Indeed, I imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. It looks as if he's clutching something in his right hand. Oh yeah, they mentioned that in the file somewhere. Let's see. According to this, it was a button. A button? Torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps? No, from the snowman, probably. Or anything? Oh, the blood, maybe? Fresh blood and plenty of it. According to the autopsy report, he died from loss of blood due to the blow to the back of his head. Yes, and that blood spread out all over the entire area. I doubt anybody could have bled that much and survived. Anyway, that certainly seems to confirm what the autopsy report suggests. You gotta drink some water. Anything else? Oh, his shoes, maybe? Footprints were a key part of this case. There was information about the shoes in the file, correct? Yeah, let's see. They were a size 12. Feet were clean, no corns, no athlete's foot. Beige socks, thermal underwear in the same color. He dressed old guy style. Brighter socks would have really made the outfit pop. Wanna live a little? And that's it for the fashion rundown. Shout out to whoever left these amazingly helpful comments. And here I thought it was going to be a plain old investigation report. Okay, anything else? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to yawn. Here we go, the footprints. The footprints stopped by the body. I guess that means they belong to Mr. Alldown, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that, about a size 12? According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match. Well, yeah, but what about the culprit? Couldn't they have had a size 12 as well? Oh, no, these are smaller. These footprints go towards the body and come back. According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though. Okay. Let's see. Let me go ahead and see if I can match anything. Maybe the brick came from a planter? No? Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, I need to save. Oh, you know what? I bet it's the footprints in the planters. Yeah, there we go. So that's what our monstrous hoofprints really were. Wait, what? Recall the arrangement of the footprints. Now compare that to the planters. Yeah, over there on the left. That's right, I believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood. So Chairman Winter was digging around the front of them? He was. And why might that have been? Why might he have been doing that? We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers exactly that question. It was... the... Which piece of evidence shows why Chairman Winter might have been digging? It was the report on night. I'm sure it's still there in front of the planters where, yeah, right there.
Take that!
Recall, if you will, the report that Warden Lagarde sent to Chairman Winter. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of a planter. You think she was telling him where to dig? Wait, but why 3 holes? Because the report didn't specify which of the planters she meant. I get it, so he wasn't sure which one it was. Which meant he had to try and dig up all 3. I imagine so, yes. Poor Chairman Winter. But why go to all that trouble? What was he looking for? I think that's about all we can learn from the scene for now. Alright, how about I try to show you how things looked earlier on that night? That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment of which the victim witnesses to the kidnapping? Sure, I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing. Uh-oh, you two gotta move. Franny and a Gumshoe. Oh, nope. Wait, here? There's Mr. Aldown in the middle of the planters. And there's them, yeah. And there's the president and his kidnapper out by the road. My father based his investigation on the evidence Aldown provided. That was why he thought the kidnapping and the orphanage were connected somehow. And how we wound up suspecting Fifi Lagarde. She was the one running the orphanage at the time. Exactly. When the case went to trial, Excelsius Winter put a big hole in that theory. He did. Yeah, after all, the president and the kidnapper weren't actually on the grounds of the orphanage. So it was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection. I'm starting to wonder if the current president that died and the one that was kidnapped are 2 different people. Because how can someone look this exact same 12 years later? Huh, so they were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage? Detectives bust a gut to find evidence on the scene, and then prosecutors come along and twist it for their own ends. Winter and Lagarde were working together. They had some kind of deal, I'm sure of it. So you're saying that Chairman Winter was working with the kidnapper? Yeah. So it might have been Winter that killed the reporter. Your father was convinced that Lagarde was the culprit, correct? And you say he was a gifted and thorough investigator. Then he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Aldown's message, surely. Yeah, he must have. I just don't know what it was. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about. Hi, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, welcome. Yours truly, Swazi. Hello. Welcome in, my name's Narris, but you can call me Mama. Ajalang's father, Da Long Lang. Welcome in. Glad you decided to come to my stream for a bit. Trusted ally and confidant of President Wong. He discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winner. Hold up, kill that old guy? Why? Our first priority should be to find out what they were. Okay, so this is 115, okay. Hey, that snowman. It was melted in the simulation on the morning after the murder, huh? And that muffler was all wet, and its little button eyes had fallen off. Indeed, it still looked reasonably healthy at this point. Oh, that's a good reference. Although not entirely, I can see one thing that's missing. I bet some kid took it as a stupid prank. Not a bad piece of thieving, though. Maybe they had potential. Yeah, no, I don't think it was an orphan that took it. This snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say? Yeah, his right eye. Indeed, luckily we've managed to locate it. The button Mr. Aldown was holding. Look at that, it's the same type of button as the other eye and everything. And if we suppose that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, that presents something of a contradiction. The victim's location. The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered in his blood. Which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if after being struck, Mr. Aldown lost his balance and reached out to grab something to steady himself, the snowman? The snowman wouldn't have supported him, so he would have grasped the button and continued falling. I get it, so you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked? I am, within arm's reach to be precise. And he's currently nowhere near that close. Right, but his footprints only go as far as the planter. He never came back this way. What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again. Alright, I'll take us back to the scene when Mr. Aldown's body was found. Yeah, it could have been the attacker. That was the footprints on the left. But the footprints on the left definitely matched up with Mr. Aldown's shoes, right? So what's the deal? Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. Can we really be sure that these are Mr. Aldown's footprints? Well, they're the same size, a 12, which is pretty big, and the prints match his shoes. They also go straight to the middle of the... Someone probably swapped the shoes then. They also go straight to the middle of the planters where his body was found. But as we've established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the button from the snowman. Well, being a great thief, I know a few contortionist tricks, but that would be way beyond even me. Some average Joe stretching his arms that far? Basically impossible. I think we can reasonably certain that the prints were made by the shoes the victim was wearing. But can we be certain that they were actually the victim's shoes? Yeah. Perhaps we should take another look at them. Okay. Gotta look at the feet. These shoes, as the case file says, they match the footprints, but... Huh, these aren't the victim's shoes. I'm sure of it. His feet don't fit them. Look at how the laces are tied. Don't they look a little strange to you? What's more, they don't appear to fit properly. These prints, they go right up to where the victim was found, and they stop right by his feet. So the fire then that's back there wasn't caused by some kid, it was caused by probably his attacker. To obscure their footprints up there, maybe. But they didn't actually belong to him. So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away and come back? No, I don't think so. They're too small. So neither set belongs to him. Then how did he get here? That's easy enough. He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer. Right. So then where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman as we suspect? Probably. Or was it over here? I think Mr. Alldown's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clutching to his hand? And that would suggest he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I better take a closer look. Ah, here we go. Oh, there it is. There's the missing brick. Look, there's a brick missing here. The rest of the brickwork looks fine. Strange that just this one is missing. Poor snowman, he's not looking good. It can't be helped. Snow and ice eventually melt. That's just how it is. And so do mysteries. All we have to do is wait. The snowman of the case will melt into the clear water of truth. All you have to do is wait, Kay. I have to work to solve these mysteries. Size 9 footprints going toward the body and away from it. The case file says they must have belonged to the murderer. They grow fainter as they get closer to the orphanage gates. That's just because there's less snow over there, no? Be that as it may, it certainly doesn't help in matching the prints up with a name and face. Right. So there are planters outside the orphanage gates, too. Oh, look, they planted stuff like flowers in winter under all that snow. Indeed, a little frigid, but tasteful nonetheless. Sorry, I might have to take another bite of something here. Sometimes I even start burping when I'm just hungry. It's weird. I don't know why. Indeed, a little frigid. Oh, I already said that. So that was a little bit of a hungry burp there, I think. Yes, indeed. A bit frosty looking, but tasty nonetheless. For a simulation. Tasty. That might be it? Yeah, that looks like it's it. Let's do the brick and the missing brick here. Let's connect those. It seems quite likely that the missing brick was once used in the murder. Was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say? Oh yeah, now that you mention it, they're all the same exact shape and size. Okay. Brick from By Snowman. I'll try these two and see if that... Yeah, okay. I think we have to conclude that the murder was actually happened over by the snowman. Right, the button came from there and the brick too. Thank you for the follow, Cybersune Yuki. Thank you. My name is Narris, but you can call me Mama. I'm a very wide, short stack goth goblin VorTuber. I hope I'm able to keep you company. And don't worry, the Vor stuff doesn't happen all the time. Usually at the end of stream. I'm wholesome, don't worry. Or I try to be. Indeed, and what's more, if the murderer took the brick from right by the snowman, and then tried to sneak up on the victim all the way over by the planters, Mr. Aldown would have seen them right away. Exactly. Yeah, lots of follows today. Thank you so much. I hope I'm able to bring you a little bit of joy, entertainment. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Aldown wasn't standing by the planters, he was next to the snowman. Gotcha! Anyway, alright, here goes! But then that doesn't make sense. Look at this. Yeah, no matter how you look at it, this just doesn't work, huh? Indeed, everyone who was present is in the exact same spot. So, where did we go wrong? One of the pieces of evidence on which we based our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? Was it the photo?
Take that!
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Aldown? What do you mean? We know that whoever killed him moved the body. But why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't? And then they took the photo to help back up the lie? They had the president at gunpoint, they could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. He would have had no choice but to comply. Hey, now that you mention it, they only recovered one picture from Mr. Aldown's camera, right? Indeed, I imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, then replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that the only picture found was the one they staged. Yeah, that makes total sense. So then, was I sort of right, where maybe this president might not be the real president? So the picture was actually taken after Mr. Aldown was killed. No way. And there you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Aldown saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case. Wait, so where was the president when Mr. Aldown thought he saw him being kidnapped? Luckily, the photograph isn't the only piece of evidence we can use to try and figure that out. Oh yeah, he left that voicemail too! He did. I think we should listen back to it one more time, don't you? Yeah. Oh, he said the lamp went out. So here.
Take that!
By the fire. Recall this statement from Mr. Aldown's voicemail. Damn it, the light's out. 2 of the lights here in the yard are broken. Yeah, he must have been talking about the one over by the building. Alright, could you update the simulation to reflect everything we've learned? Yeah, that makes more sense, actually. And there you have it! The kidnapper was really standing over by the building. Yes, which would certainly have strengthened the theory that they were connected to the orphanage. Still cooking, but wanted to say Mama Narris is a joy. Feel lucky to have met her, and those in the community, thank you! Thank you, I'm so glad to have met you too, and you all have made such a lovely, like, comfortable community for me so far. I'm really happy that I met you guys too. So they moved the body and staged the photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail, which helped them undermine the idea that the orphanage was involved when the case went to trial. Well, that certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it will also affect our understanding of the scene from when the body was found. Only one way to find out, Ready to make the jump? To switch between the two recreations, I need to first press Y and talk with K. Okay. Is there anything else we can connect first? No, okay. You happy you met me? Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the stuff that I do. Okay, let's take another look at how things were when they found the body. And there we have it. So he's over here now. So this is where Mr. Alldown really met his fate. But he was moved in order to make the scene consistent with the staged photograph. Over to the spot between the planters. So the footprints, in fact, the fact that they go over there and come back, I think that tells us something important. That they were left by whoever carried him over there. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, so now the blood ends here. This is the only part where there's no snow, huh? Because of the fire one of the kids set. I imagine the snow had melted as a result. This must be the unluckiest orphanage in the world. First a fire, then a murder? Talk about going from bad to worse. No, it's the other way around. But just because it causes the snow to melt... Yeah, maybe the fire happened after? Or before, then? Somebody's dropped a yellow flower here. It's a lion lily, right? According to Franziska, yes. They're originally from Asia, if I recall correctly. Yep, and she said it symbolizes the pond. Oh, I already did that one. Blood on the snow, a lot of it. It certainly looks as if a murder occurred here, doesn't it? Wait, but we just figured out that Mr. Alldown was killed over by the snowman, right? We did. I think this blood might belong to someone else. But the police report said the blood was Mr. Alldown's. Need I remind you that the case was overseen by Chairman Winner? The man would have had no scruples about altering the official record over something this small. But then why go to all the trouble? Couldn't he have just cleaned up the blood instead? He wasn't able to. Think about it. He knew that this was where the police would find Mr. Alldown's body. And he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues. Oh, you mean luminol? Yeah, they would have found traces of blood if they'd used that for sure. Exactly, he wouldn't have been able to clean it up to the point where it was undetectable. Far easier to falsify the results of any such tests when they come back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official results with a doctored copy. Eesh, so we've been looking at a forgery this whole time? That sucks. Wait, but it says Mr. Alldown's clothes were covered with blood too. It does, and if they were, which seems entirely believable, it suggests that whoever's blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Alldown's body was placed here. I get it. Which means that the other person's blood was spilt not long before Mr. Alldown was killed. I think it does, yes. But if that's the case, doesn't that present something of a contradiction? Yeah, it does. Blood wasn't Alldown's. What did this say again? President Wong is here for some reason. There's another.
Eureka!
Ah, damn, no, that's not it. Okay. Right, let me go back again then. The fire? No, I already investigated the fire. These planters. Yeah, 3 side. Oh, I already investigated this. What? Ah, damn it. Okay, I gotta scroll through all this again, I think. So... what? Related to what evidence? Let's see. Would it be the shoes? Or... oh, wait. Maybe this instead of the blood? No, because this is Sean's. Hi! Dranagon, hello! Thank you for the raid. Hi, Shala. I'm like stumped here. God, I don't know what it's asking me to do. Damn it. Give me a second. So I was playing Ace Attorney. Thank you for that, Dranagon.
Eureka!
Nope, damn. Damn, why is this taking me so... why is this so hard to figure out? Oh, the body's where it should be now over by the snowman. Kinda sad. Nobody being here anymore, huh? Now that the body is gone, there may be new clues for us to discover. I already did. I might have to look this up. I hate doing this, but I'm stumped, so... Oh, my fucking god.
Eureka!
There's a clear contradiction here. Huh? In the bloodstain? The blood is clearly cut off where the snow was melted by a fire. Which means that the blood in question was spilled before the fire was started. Huh, but the fire happened before the murder, no? If we choose to believe the case file, yes. But if the fire was actually set after what happened here, the kid who lit it must have seen something. Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winner's version of events. We need to know more about this fire. You. Yes, Shifu? The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if they have anything and bring everything you find back here right away. Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it. One more thing. What is it, Shifu? Contact my family back in Zhengfa. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case. There should? What kind of something exactly? I told you I'd seen this scene somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it. Something very much like it. It looked like it was drawn by a child. Possibly a child from the orphanage, possibly even the child who set the fire. Tell them to send it right away. Yes, Shifu. Wait, how did he just leave the green zone? I was assuming he was trapped here or something. What did Winner dig up? If Chairman Winner was involved in President Wang's abduction, then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday had something to do with the kidnapping. Oh, I get it. You do? You bet I do. We're talking treasure, right? Loot. He must have been digging up the ransom money. Ransom money? $100 million is a lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat died down. It certainly seems like a possibility. Glad you agree. Ah, there we go. We're done now. Yay, I got some health back. Oh, so we're finally done here. Okay. Shifu, I'm back. I brought everything the police had on the fire. And I also brought the picture from your father's office. Wow, that was fast. About time. What kept you, huh? Well, hand it over. Oh yeah, that was 250. Yay. Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we? What was the... No way. It wasn't a kidnapping, it was a murder. Kanis killed the president. If this is to be believed. This is the picture I remember. Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident? It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh? Yes, and I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child who set the fire. Jeez. Shifu, there's... What now? Look, it'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor?
No, let him speak.
Why do you think my father kept this?
I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation. Although I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it to himself. Could we see the case file for the fire too?
Sure, here.
If you'll just give me a moment to read through it. Seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident, and then disappeared several days later.
It must have been because he saw something, right?
No, a kid? Really? That's horrible. But sadly not unimaginable.
Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence.
What the how?
What's that doing in the case file?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before? Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected.
Take that!
The plushie. I don't know what it was doing in the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from this soft toy.
Hey, that was President Wong's.
You've seen it before? Yeah, it was on the plane.
Of course. He always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece.
I see. It has a special device inside it that plays recorded sound when you twist the horn. Hey, do you think maybe putting the horn back on it might unlock more recordings? You never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor.
Hey, you heard the man.
Yes, Shifu, I'll go fetch it right away. Here it is, Shifu, the Pterosaurus doll just like you said.
Good work. Hand it to the prosecutor over there.
Does the horn found at the orphanage fit the president's plushie? Yes, it does. It fits perfectly! And it's got the nose ring, so it's the old original character from the past.
And any more recordings on there?
Hi, Dijung. Sorry, President Wong. It's me, Amelie. I know it's been a while. I saw the news that you were visiting the country soon. And I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end I decided I had to.
Overruled.
Is Amelie her, like, middle name or something? Turn it off right now! What's gotten into Judge Gavel? Are you okay? Just turn it off, please! You see, I had a baby, a beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy. I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Sean Fenn. The kid?
And also that, I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in front of the yard. I thought you could meet me if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye. Oh my god. What? He was my dad? I'm so sorry, Sean.
Care to explain what the heck is going on, Gavel?
Sean isn't my biological son. She adopted him.
And he was aware of this?
Yes, of course. His mother, Amelie Fenn, she died 5 years ago. We were cousins. Oh, but we were also friends. The best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. They were the best of friends, chat. And so, when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Of course, we had to keep his father's identity secret. And I decided that the best way to do that would be for him to never know in the first place. Lady! He's a teenager, you should have told him at this point. It's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president. That's why he had it. Hey. Yes, Sean? You're sure? He was really my dad? Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Zhangfa. Makes sense, that line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president. You told me she worked at the orphanage! She did, but only after she returned. After she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her. Until Fifi Lagarde came in charge. Sorry, Judge Gabel, but I have to ask. Amelie, the lady who asked the president to come? Why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident? She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her. I'll bet that was Chairman Winner's doing, though sadly we can't prove it. And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again. Then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean. Hey, Sean? Are you thirsty? We could go get a soda. My treat, okay? Come on, I think I saw a vending machine over. You think I can't buy myself a soda? This is important, and it's about me. I'm staying. Oh, that didn't work at all. Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago. So that's it. That's what the big secret was. I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone. But if that drawing is to be believed, that would mean that Conus probably did not kidnap the president, probably killed the president. So who is this guy? But also that you were alive and well. More than well. But It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Gavel was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting. Yeah, she would have had to share the truth about Sean too. That was why I took the lion lilies with me. So there would be no doubt that I knew Amelie, so that I knew her well. These flowers bore a special significance for the two of them, you see. President Wong gave Amelie a bouquet of lion lilies in the early days of their romance. But now he too is dead. If only he had lived. Hi, Droid Master. This is a little awkward timing. We're in the middle of a little bit of an emotional point. Sean might finally have been able to get to know him. But is that really what he wants? Shifu? I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but... What? What is it? You've been hovering there this whole time. Can't it wait? They sent something else from Zhengfa. President Wong's will. What? The president's will, huh? He gave my father medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him. Yeah.
This is... What is it, Agent Lang? Does it have anything to do with our current case?
Of course it does.
You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son.
Sean's name appears in the president's will?
And we're certain that the document is authentic? That President Wong wrote it himself? Sure we are. It's old, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS7 incident happened. They'll want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I'd stake my name on it being the genuine article.
Wong was a renowned world leader. A child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir. And yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless.
Well, that's that, I guess. I still can't quite believe it, but the president confirmed it with his own hand. There's no denying it. Sean, you're President Wong's son.
Sean!
Oh, he ran away. Again? Sean!
Oh, come on, you can't end it there.
Alright, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna see where this goes. Yeah, oh, he came right back here.
Sean?
He was my dad? Can't have been easy learning the truth about his father's identity so unexpectedly. And too late to ever get to know him. You know how hard I tried to find him?
Sean?
I get it, he was the president. He had a lot more to think about than just me. But he was right there in front of me. Right there on the set. Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he tell me who he was?
I'm sorry, Sean.
It's not your fault, Mom, it's mine. If I hadn't broken my promise to you, that fire would have never happened, and you wouldn't have... I've ruined everything. It's all my fault. I even ruined your flowers.
Sean! Please, you mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. Just for a little while.
The bond between parent and child is symbolized by the lion lily. I'm no expert, but it's native to Zhengfa, so I know that much at least. Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dwelling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Lang, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us. You're right. I believe we've learned all we need to know about what happened back then for now.
An ad break. Sorry about that.
To anyone who can't see the thing.
Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick break. I think that's a good... Let's be going 2 hours. Let's take a very quick break for the ad timing. I will be right back. Everyone make sure to grab a snack or get some drink. Stand up, walk around, stretch if you need to. I will be right back. Okay, let's go back in, huh? Welcome back. I think that's a good idea to do from now on. Keep the make the ad break. If there's an easy point to stop, pause for a couple minutes in a game, like right now. I should probably do a mini break like that to make sure that people don't
people that aren't able to have like turbo or sub, they don't miss out on much. Excuse me. Mama's very belchy today. Okay. Now what did this say? Sorry. Okay, so we just found out that Sean was the president's son. I believe, yeah. How did it all line up with your father's theories about the case? I wouldn't know. He took those to the grave with him. He never shared his thoughts with anybody. There's no way of knowing now what he figured out. What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we learned from Kay's reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago? You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth. Hell yeah, let's do it, boy. Just bros being bros. The real story. The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure. The Taurosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fen. Except he was kidnapped and Alldown happened to see it. If Alldown hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder. Just a kidnapping. Are we sure about that? Instead, they had to move his body to the planters and stage the photo to throw everybody off the scent. So that's our current theory, is it? Yeah, I think we agree on that so far. But there's something I still don't understand. There is. This. Why risk staging the picture? They would have had to force the president to play along. What if he hadn't? Maybe it's not the president. It's a good question. And we may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get there one deduction at a time. Yeah, I guess we will. Alright, deduce away. I want them to make an Investigations 3. Where, like, we get to play as Edgeworth again, and maybe it could be like... Maybe they could make an Investigations 3 where it takes place during Apollo Justice. Like the 4th game after the time skip. Because we don't get to see or hear anything about what Edgeworth is up to during that game. And then we could get to see both Edgeworth and Lang here older, and Kay older as well, and Gumshoe. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. And we'd get second trilogy Emma in that game as well. I hope.
Hold it!
Nothing should be taken for granted at this stage. We need to treat even the seemingly certain with caution. Can we really be sure that the president went to the orphanage? I get it, you want evidence. This is a nice change of pace from people asking you to show them proof, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? There's no need to actually say it out loud, Kay.
Hold it!
The plushie. It has a recording device concealed inside it, correct? Edgeworth, you know this, come on. It does, and it was used by Sean's mother, Amelie. The record to record a message asking the president to meet her at the orphanage at midnight. Whoa, you're finishing each other's sentences now? What a team! Two bros. You two will peel away the layers of the truth like an onion, I'm sure of it. Shrek reference? You do realize that there's nothing underneath all the layers of an onion, don't you, Kay? Could you try to say something a little less unfortunate sounding? You two will peel away the layers of the truth like a skin of a wolf, I'm sure of it. He said less unfortunate sounding. Shall we continue?
Hold it!
Could we go over the details once again? So Mr. Alldown saw the president being kidnapped from right by the orphanage. And he was standing next to the snowman. The murderer crept up behind him, grabbed a brick, and... Ow! Ow! Calm down, Kay. We're simply verifying our understanding of the events. Yeah, well, that was the little outburst just blew my understanding out of my ears. I know we have to go over all this again, but can we do it less dramatically? Really? Fine. I'm happy to keep answering if you're happy to keep asking.
Hold it!
If Aldown hadn't been there, huh? That's an interesting suggestion. Care to explain? There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered. If he hadn't been there, maybe the kidnapping could have happened without any blood being spilled. But could it? Yeah, I wonder about that. He makes it sound as if it was Mr. Aldown's fault he was murdered. That's not what Agent Lang is saying, Kay. What he meant is that Mr. Aldown was the only person who died at the orphanage that night. Was he, though? Why does something bother me about that? Yeah. Finish discussing things with your assistant, then let's continue, shall we? Okay, so I'm gonna actually, since I have full health, I'm gonna do this. Nope. Okay, I think I'm ahead of myself here. I think I got ahead of myself.
Hold it!
This is another very important part of our current theory. Shall we go over all the details again? Sure, probably a good idea. Alright, first, what did Aldown see? He saw the president being kidnapped from right in front of the building. But the kidnappers were keen to avoid any suggestion that they might be connected with the orphanage. Yep, so they replaced the film in Aldown's camera and staged the photograph of the kidnapping occurring further away from the building. Indeed, and then they moved Mr. Aldown's body to a location consistent with what the picture showed. Ah, the secrets buried underneath the snow 12 years ago are finally coming to light. And we're sure that's really what happened that night. What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? I get the sense we're still not seeing everything, that there's something else at play behind it all. But what? There's a piece of evidence we discovered that Agent Lang's theory can't explain. The blood being not, it wasn't Aldown's. Oh, what? Come on. Oh, maybe the wrong statement. If Aldown hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a... Here. There it is. You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Aldown hadn't witnessed the kidnapping. But is that really the case? Why wouldn't it be? Their main aim was to abduct the president, right? This is where the picture comes in. So if there hadn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody. And yet it remains possible that Mr. Aldown wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, but Mr. Aldown was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him. What if all that blood by the planters belonged to somebody else? Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. You do realize what you're saying, don't you? I do. It's hard to believe, I'll be the first to admit it, but it's what the evidence suggests. Not just one person was killed here 12 years ago, but two. You're saying they covered up a whole separate murder? But whose? Who else was killed that night? The president. Whoever covered this other homicide did so very skillfully indeed. They even seemed to be able to avoid it being mentioned in the files. But they didn't quite get rid of everything. That they never managed to the picture, the drawing.
Take that!
Excelsius Winter tried to shroud the existence of the other murder in darkness. But there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress. Thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Lang. My father? Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. The fire, the existence of the child who set the fire in front of the orphanage. But why would Chairman Winter wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have, that's why. He did? What was it? It's right here in this picture. The picture my father kept? I think we can all agree that's the president on the right-hand side. And that's the Pterosaurus toy in his hand.
Take that!
Eastern robes and a black dog. That can only be Bodhidharma-Canis. The creepy assassin guy? And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can think of only one thing. It wasn't the kidnapping that occurred 12 years ago. It was an assassination. Ah! Oh, these fuckers. Oh my god. And Warden Lagarde and Chairman Winter were... Yes, I think they were complicit. More than complicit, in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Alldown was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be at all. Do you think I'm an idiot? How could the president have died 12 years ago? We all found his body this morning. He was alive and well until just recently. Yeah, we even met him. Indeed, so we have a president killed 12 years ago, and a president killed in the last 48 hours. 2 presidents, in other words? Right, which is completely impossible. Not really. Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be two presidents. In fact, that would explain a lot. Yeah, the fact that he changed. The president Agent Lang spoke of was a noble and capable leader. The president's mask was well and truly slipped. Yeah, entirely unlike the man we met. It really did seem as if they were 2 completely different people. But how could one country have 2 presidents? What could explain a situation like that? One was a body double. One of the 2 was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense. A body double? For that many years? Oh my god. President Wong was a man of great power and influence in Zhangfa, a figure of the world stage. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years. Such as the one at Gourd Lake only a few days ago. It's true, there were more than a few assassination attempts. But that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there was more than one president. Not without proof. More than one president. No, that's the... Okay, that's the wrong case. Didn't see the president pass through? Oh, no, that's different. I'll be pulling Knight into... Wait, as you know, we've been trying to find out who Canis plays his silly correspondence chess games with. Okay, that doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. The lion lilies?
Take that!
Nope, okay. Langji says, bad proof has no mouth. Okay. Any proof that there was more than one president? Death was due to full body concussions. Oh!
Take that!
What? There was no blood for the current autopsy. Okay, I need to be more careful. President Wong and Judge... There's no footage of the president riding the elevator down to leave. No, that can't be it. Jeez, oh my god, President Wong was supposed to meet Amelie Fen at the orphanage at midnight. A photograph of a kidnapping was... Is it the photograph?
Take that!
What the fuck? Okay, then what is it? I don't know. What is it asking me for here? I don't see anything that... I tried the lilies. I did the photograph just then. I'm stumped. I don't know. I might have to look this up too. Yeah, just tell me. I'm stumped. Sorry. I tried 3 different things and it wasn't working, so... Why? But why not the photograph too? This is saying there was a staged photograph, and this is showing the staged photograph. Why doesn't the photograph work?
Take that!
That's bullshit. It should be both. I lost health that I shouldn't have. But didn't he die after midnight? Whatever. What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? You're pretty quiet all of a sudden. If Amelie Fen's recording, in Amelie Fen's recording, she asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight. But it shouldn't have been possible for him to... Was there an option? Was there a way to get to this by presenting the plushie as well? Because I thought about doing that too. I hate when this series does this, where there should be allowed to have more than one specific piece of evidence presented if they're both related to what needs to be presented, and it doesn't accept more than one. It's bullshit. They still do this in the newer games, too. How come? Because he was supposedly still at the embassy. With your father, Agent Lang. So he had noticed. Thanks for the head pats. The only way he could have been in two places at once is if there were two of him. So the real president? That was the one who? Died 12 years ago. I think it might have been. But why and who? Who would have hired Connus to murder the president? In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at the piece of evidence we recently discovered was a fake. The footprints?
Take that!
Are you serious? The footprints were faked, weren't they? I'll be happy to. The fake evidence. This better not be the photograph.
Take that!
Ah, that's so bullshit. I was right, and it punished me for it. Hi, Lily. The picture taken with Mr. Alldown's camera was staged sometime after his murder. Mr. Alldown was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph too must have been taken after the real president's death. So who's the president in the staged photograph? The body... Oh. The body double, nothing else makes sense. The president's double had him killed so that he could take his place permanently. And Excelsius Winner and Fifi Lagarde helped him do it. Who is the double then, and why did he want this? You don't even have a body to support your theory. Are you telling me it magically disappeared?
Objection!
No, in fact, we know exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time. Oh, now I'm really confused. No way. Oh, I wish I could save. I can't. What did this say again? It said, retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago. Did they build a studio lot on top of someone's body?
Take that!
Oh, come on! Oh. How far back is this? Okay.
Take that!
What the fuck? Why couldn't the gloves have worked there? Bullshit game. Oh my god. Chairman Winter dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve. We thought it might have been the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important. It's right, the real president's body, and I think it's highly likely anyway. You mean the remains of the body? Yeah, may have decomposed in the intervening years. The bones surely have remained, yeah. Jeez, that's so gross. Everything had to be wrapped up before the construction, yeah. The recovery of the ugh. I guess once they started digging the place up, they would have found them pretty quick, huh? We need to have those so-called monster prints analyzed again. Yeah, I guess so. I guess we do. If there was a body under one of them, there should be trace evidence to confirm it. Get me somebody from forensics. Presenting the findings of our analysis, sir. Oh my god, that's so disgusting. So it really was him. Bones were also recovered from the home of... Excelsius Winter may just be possibly the stupidest culprit in this entire series. You're fucking kidding me. You did not get rid of the evidence before going to the auction? You fucking idiot. Oh my god. Has there ever been an even dumber culprit in this series than this? There have been culprits that have done stupid things, but this? I don't know. Yeah, also, right, the night before construction, yeah. Jesus Christ. The physique looks to be about right, and dental and medical records are a match. Oh my god. Yeah, you had how many years to recover this? Well, yeah, that's true, Shala, but at the same time, that's not as stupid as this, I say. And the SS5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide. Jesus. So it really was a murder, huh? This case has taken so many twists and turns, I'm starting to lose track. Me too. Perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm that we understand everything correctly. 12 years ago, the real President Wong visited the orphanage. His aim to meet his infant son. The footprints were originally assumed to be those of Mr. Alldown. Seems likely to have actually been made by the President upon his arrival. Possibly, yeah. But instead of being greeted by his child, he was met by the assassin, Connus. That's so sad. He was hoping to see his baby for the first time. Indeed, but at least with Mr. Connus, we can be sure that the job was swiftly and effectively completed. But then after the assassination, another tragedy occurred. Mr. Alldown's murder. Seems he witnessed a key moment in the evening's proceedings. The moment when our culprits, the so-called kidnappers, took the president's body around the side of the building. That was the site that sealed his fate. We've now established that he was standing by the orphanage gates at the time, right? Far enough away that he believed what he was seeing was the president's abduction. At which point, some other person, the body had come to meet the body double killed Mr. Alldown? Leading to our unfortunate eyewitness being murdered by the man who was plotting to replace the president. So was it the body double who moved Mr. Alldown's body too? I think it probably was. How do we know that though? But none of the footprints could have been his, could they? Actually, I think they could. We have a piece of evidence that proves what shows how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any foot. The fire, right?
Take that!
You're fuck off, game. You're upsetting me right now. Jesus Christ. And I can't save. Great. What shows how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any footprints?
Take that!
What if the president's double moved Mr. Alldown's body like this? After killing Mr. Alldown, he could have carried him to the other side of the entrance. Given that his job was to look like the president, he would have been wearing the same shoes. Why did they need to pretend there was a kidnapping? It would have been impossible for the conspirators to erase that message, right? So they had to make it look as if the events described in the message were true. The two of them would have had to walk out beyond the orphanage gates to stage the photo. Wait a second. Hold on. Is he not wearing shoes? Those don't look like shoes to me. From that, the way that's drawn. It could be, but is he just in socks? That's weird. The ones we originally thought belonged to the killer, yes. They were about size 9, too small for Chairman Winner, in other words. Which means the kidnapper must have been played by Warden the Guard. And that explains how a so-called kidnapping was actually a presidential assassination. Jeez. It does, which means my father must have... He must have... noticed. There's no way he wouldn't have suspected a murder. Especially not with the kid's picture as proof. But the picture was never officially put into evidence, correct? No, he appears to have kept hold of it after taking the witness statement of the child who drew it. Because he knew President Wong was dead. And he knew what would happen if that news ever got out. Zhang Fa would have been plunged into chaos, no doubt. So he kept it a secret, and the secret died with him. Even though it meant taking the blame for the kidnapping, and our family name behind being ruined. So your father knew the truth about what happened 12 years ago, but he chose to hide it. Well, it's finally coming to light. Is it indeed intriguing? Yeah. That sound, is that a bell? No, it's Connus, it's not Isabel, Edgeworth. What the heck are you doing here? We're the law, you think you could just show up in front of us like it ain't a problem? Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing the fascinating conversation you were having. The opportunity to gloat over your past crimes was just too good to miss, I expect. You killed President Wang? Wang? I did, but it's not something I'm inclined to gloat over. I was more interested in something else you mentioned. Or someone else, should I say. Someone you're looking for, I suppose. Probably the kid. Exactly, that's why I took a little sojourn from the penitentiary to find a certain young pup. A young pup in a rather eye-catching red raincoat.
Wait, you know who they are?
In a manner of speaking. What did you call them again? A secret mastermind? The prosecutor looks a little surprised, doesn't he, Helmut? Yes, he does. The young pup I mentioned, he saved my life, you know. 12 long years ago.
Oh, okay.
As you have surmised, it was I who killed President Wang.
I'm just gonna say Wang, it's easier.
But that meant that I too became an inconvenience in need of removal. The imposter president, Winner, Lagarde, all three were keen to guarantee my silence. And if I hadn't met my friend the young pup again, they might even have succeeded. I wonder what he's doing now.
He. It's a he. Who? Okay, hold on. Profiles. Who do we not have accounted for then? He, not Gumshoe, obviously.
I remember his words as well as if they were yesterday.
You know how many times I've nearly been killed? Not once, not twice, a bunch of times. Why do I have to take all the risk? Why am I the one that they always put in danger? When I'm out there being him, people treat me like I was him. They worship me. So what's the difference? Who's to say I couldn't be just as good as him?
There was a difference, of course. Even if he did look and sound exactly like him.
Him?
Just because it walks and talks like a like a president? That doesn't make it a president, does it, boy? No.
So we got his wish and became the boss. Oh, no, that was the president talking. Whoops, I'm sorry. I thought that was the kid.
Rook's not around, that means I'm number one.
I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes.
Of course I do, I'm the leader now. Me!
Seems the king and his knight were much the same. Oh, are they assuming that it was, Knight?
The president's double knew—
No, it can't be Knight because he's dead.
The president's double knew that his employer had a weakness. A young woman named Amelie. But in order to find her, he needed to enlist the help of locals.
Locals such as Chairman Winner.
Once Miss Fen had been located, they simply needed to find the right time to lay their trap.
The meeting she arranged so the president could meet his son. That would have been the perfect opportunity.
Indeed, and with the head of the orphanage brought into the fold, their little conspiracy was complete.
Word on the guard.
Now, quid pro quo, where might I find the pup?
What makes you think the boy who helped you and our mysterious string puller are one and the same?
He set a little fire that night. One out there in the yard of the orphanage.
Oh, yeah, we saw that. It was some kind of prank, right?
A prank? It was nothing of the sort, my dear. No, as I understand it, he had taken refuge in the igloo by the entrance.
Real? Oh, okay.
From there, he happened to see Winner and Lagarde carrying away a dead body. He also overheard them hatching a certain sordid little plot. A plot to remove me, the only other person who knew what had really happened from the picture. Thankfully, he was kind enough to come and inform me. I was waiting inside the building, you see. He also happened to mention later on that he was wearing his favorite red raincoat. In any case, he escorted me from the premises. And being a very considerate boy, thought to erase both our footprints from the scene of the crime. Wow, okay. He had a little kerosene set aside in the igloo for just such an occasion. Why? Did he suspect that something like this would happen? He spread it deliberately around the place and set it himself a little fire. So that's what the fire was for? It must have been ever so beautiful. Winter and Lagarde were positively enchanted. And while they were distracted by the show, he took the opportunity to usher me out of a side entrance. You never answered my question. You really think he's the one behind all this? I do indeed. Don't I, Helmut? Yes. Yes, I do. Damn, okay. Is this the last, questioning then?
Hold it!
You were pretty forthcoming with that particular admission. If I'm honest, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm tired of all the killing. But back then, I felt that death was my plan. I embraced it, was my path. I embraced it and strove to learn what it had to teach. So, oh god, sorry, I need to... Mama's hungry. I have made my peace with that, and I am happy to admit it. Aren't I, boy? I'm not sure what he's talking about, but I definitely don't like the sound of it. Basically, he thought nothing of murdering the president. Not only is he an assassin, he's now a prison escapee, not someone to be trifled with. Very well, you killed the president, and you're happy to admit it. Oh, very much so. I wouldn't want you thinking that I drew my blade and missed. Oh, how considerate of you.
Hold it!
You, a target, but you're an assassin. Sometimes the hunter becomes the hunted. Sometimes the living becomes the dead. Please, Kay, don't feel the need to add a proverb of your own. Impermanence isn't inherent to the way of those of the assassin. Life takers' lives are taken, so it goes. Wait, does that mean the people you're sent to kill sometimes try to kill you back, or...? It happens, occasionally, but it's not what happened this time. The imposter president tried to guarantee his silence. But Mr. Connus, you're a professional killer, and a famously skilled one at that. Surely escaping even 3 attackers would have been little more to it than a minor inconvenience. You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem to forget that without Helmut here, I couldn't even walk down the street. Against 3 assailants, I wouldn't have lasted more than a few moments. I see, so even the most proficient assassins are ill-equipped to face a full frontal assault. We're not hugely fond of such situations, shall we say? I certainly wouldn't have liked my chances. I had met my friend the young pup again.
Hold it!
Who is he? Again? So the 2 of you had met before? Yes, on a cold and lonely... It's Gusto's son. Carmelo, Gusto, and Artie Frost's sons would both visit Tangaro's mansion up through the day before the incident. From the day of the incident onward, their whereabouts were unknown. Which kid is his son, though? That long ago. But on that occasion, it was I who saved his life. It was snowing more than it had in years, and cold enough that death by freezing was a real possibility. It was cold that year, wasn't it? I had taken Helmut out for a little walk. He noticed something and bounded off through the snow. When I caught up to him, he was sniffing at a car. The doors had frozen shut. It took all the strength I had, but eventually I managed to open one. Wait, oh, I don't think I have the picture of them anymore, do I? No, I don't. Damn. Who? The kid on the right, I'm assuming, was Knight, then. And the kid on the left is missing. I think. Is that what this is showing? Maybe? You're tired, Droid? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if you feel you need to go, then that's perfectly fine. No problem. I'll be back here tomorrow. And inside I found 2 young boys shivering and semi-conscious. 2? Yes, and had I found them even an hour later, the poor wretches would never have made it. I took them both to a nearby orphanage. Is it me, or is there something significant about what he just told us? Yes. The number of people. You're certain there were 2 children in that car? It was a long time ago, but I remember it as clearly as if it were yesterday. This stream is what you need? Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you think that, Droid. There were 2 of them, no doubt about it. Why do you ask, Mr. Prosecutor? Is there some significant— Yes? Wait. Oh, the date maybe instead. This was on Christmas Eve 18 years ago? You're certain of that? I am. Holy smokes! Oh, hey, Fender. We have something that shows why the date is so significant. The IS-7 case.
Take that!
That was the same day on which a certain incident occurred, the murder of a well-known sculptor. No way! An incident in the aftermath of which 2 children went missing. Yeah, it's Gusto's son. The son of the victim, Artie Frost, and the son of the murderer, Carmelo Gusto. Yeah, now that you mention it, the little guys did go AWOL, huh? Intriguing. The son of a murderer and the son of his victim. I suppose that would make sense. It would. One of the boys was bound hand and foot, you see. That must have been part of Mr. Frost's plan to stop Mr. Gusto's son from getting to the competition. Indeed, because without his son to taste his creations, Mr. Gusto would have had no chance of winning. Yeah, so that was what was behind it all. Sadly, neither of the boys were able to remember any such details. They weren't. So, his son might not even remember that he had a dad or something. No, when we met each other again, on that night 12 years ago, the young pup explained it to me. It seems that they really were on the brink of death when I found them. And the shock of the experience caused them both to lose their memories. They weren't even able to remember their names. Wow, so they wouldn't have known they were Mr. Frost and Mr. Gusto's kids. If what he's telling us is true, that would seem likely, yes. Which means we still don't have enough to tell us who our mastermind might be. Mr. Conus, would you mind telling us what happened next? By all means. The pup and I remained in contact even after I was sent to prison. So he... Oh my god. Was he the... He also did the correspondence chess. Like, translating between Conus's Braille and Knight's English. Oh my god, he really is the mastermind. What the fuck? But who is he? But then I stopped hearing from him. I couldn't help but worry. And then people we're about to figure out who the big bad guy is of this game. And then people from 12 years ago started cropping up all over the place. It rather piqued my curiosity, so I thought I'd temporarily regain my freedom and look into things. People from 12 years ago? You mean Lagarde, Winner, and the President, I assume? Well, Warden Lagarde was in charge of the prison where he was an inmate this whole time, right? Yeah, I fear I wasn't as kind to her as I could have been. But then she did try to have me killed. You already know why, of course. Because you murdered President Wong, but they needed the world to believe he was still alive. If somebody had exposed the president as a fake, it would have been bad for Lagarde and Chairman Winner, too. Exactly. And not only that, I happened to overhear something else intriguing that night. What did you overhear? I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the fort for the front yard. I thought... Oh no, Amelie. I thought you can meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. Jeez. Who are you? Sorry, but I'm waiting for somebody. I know you are, President Wang. I couldn't help overhearing the news. Congratulations. But please don't worry about your son. I only could kill those I am employed to kill, which is, this case, means you. Yeah, a lot's happened since you, lurked or something. This guy is the real president. And the president that we met in the first case, was a fake. No. Wait, this is my first chance to meet him. And it might be my only chance. Please, give me just a few minutes longer. Oh. Oh my god, he wasn't... Wait, so he wasn't even gonna try and stop Conus? He just wanted to make sure that he could see Sean. Oh my god, that's so sad. I thought he was going to beg for his life, but no. An interesting character. I told him I was not aware that he had a child. No, he said and shook his head. Neither was I, but the world will know that I have one now. I mean to make sure of it. I've even prepared something in case the worst comes to the worst. And the son in question? It was the young gentleman with the horns there, correct? Horns? You can see them? Yeah, I don't need to, my dear. I've been listening very carefully, you see. I was just on the other side of the gate there this whole time. And for longer than you may realize. So the president meant to tell the world about Sean, and prepared something in case of the worst. His will. But it's not enough simply to have Conus's word of the matter. Of course. We have something that proves what he's telling us, the president said is true, the will. A will everybody knew about. He entrusted it to my family to show his belief in us, after all. The name in the recording, the preparations he had made, and his will. With those 3 points of information, I was able to convince Warden Lagarde to do anything I asked. Woo! Good job, dude. Blackmail. With the information at his disposal, he could have exposed the truth about the body double at any time. And Sean's true identity with it. Damn, I bet... Oh my god, Sean's probably feeling... Oh my god. President Wong was more agile than I'd anticipated. He blocked my first knife thrust with something soft. By the time the piece had broken off, hit the snow, my next strike had hit its mark. So it was Canis who tore the horn off this Tarasaurus's doll. I was the only one present to hear his final words. The only one who knew the truth about his son. Well, me and that poor pup.
Hold it!
Oh, you're right, ads. Okay, sorry. Let's take a quick brief talk break here. How's it going, guys? We're so close, I can feel it. We're so close. I want to hopefully find out who the person is, and then maybe confront him tomorrow or something, see if we can finish the game then. You're just resting? That's good. Hey, Lily. Your Lancer session was fun? That's good. I'm close to the end. Yeah. Yeah, you can, Iron. Yeah, I leave the VODs up. And I'm also, at some point, I'm gonna be, seeing if I can find someone to do, like, little bits of editing here and there. To be able to upload some VODs onto a YouTube channel to keep them there as well. Because they'll go away eventually over time on here. But if I upload them to YouTube, then people can see more. Hey Shala, what food did you get? Just waiting out the ads for anyone that might be watching that doesn't have, you know what, chicken and fries. Ooh, I was actually thinking about maybe going and getting a chicken sandwich somewhere with some fries tonight for dinner. I think I'm gonna do that now. I'm hungry for chicken now. I am a baby girl. I am a baby girl. You're being such a good girl right now. You're being such a good girl right now. I'm almost done, okay? I'm almost done, okay, Emma? Oh my god, what the fuck? Hey! Hey! Stop dropping frames! Stop it! Internet, stop! What the fuck? Internet, stop! Stop it! Go back to normal! Oh my god. Go back to normal, please! Stop dropping frames! What the fuck happened? Jesus Christ. 15,000 frames just dropped. What the fuck? God damn it, I thought it was gonna be... Sorry about that. Fuck off, internet. I mean, I guess it's good timing for it to stop right when the ads stop. So you were able to continue communicating with them from prison? I was. Via a post office box. What's that? It's a... K, really? It's a means of exchanging mail without revealing one's own address. Only lost 17 on your end? Sadly, I have to use Wi-Fi, yeah. I have an Ethernet cable that's long enough to reach for the router, but the router is down in the living room, downstairs, and my mom doesn't want me to run a cable all the way upstairs, which is dumb because it would make it so that I don't drop frame. Stop it! So that I don't drop frames. Stop dropping! Stupid connection! Work! Connect! Connect! It's still showing red on my end. Oh my god. Ah. I'm gonna wait for it to stabilize. I know this isn't gonna affect the recording, like the VOD recording that I'm doing, but so on YouTube it's not gonna be an issue, but is it finally done? Am I back? You finally gonna stop being a piece of shit, internet? Am I back for you guys? Okay, we're back. All right. There's got to be a way I can convince my mom to let me plug my cable in. Maybe if I can convince her that I can, like, get on a ladder and tape the cable up on the ceiling or something and run it that way. So that it's, I know. She doesn't want me to plug it in because it looks ugly, that's why. Even though it would fix this problem easily, being hardwired in. Anyway, okay, I think we're fine now. I never knew where he was, and I wasn't able to slip out and track him down. I was being kept under rather strict supervision, you see. By Warden Lagarde, no doubt. What were the two of you even communicating about? We were playing correspondence chess, of course. Yes. It was Mr. Knight. We found the diagram of the game in his cell, too. But it wasn't Knight that was the... So does that mean Knight had something to do with all that IS-7 business? Could that be it? Yeah, the belongings.
Take that!
This is everything Knight left behind. Could there be a clue in here somewhere? The ring. The ring. What about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Fender, take a closer look at it, if you will. That design? That's Paul Halleck's trademark. Indeed, it looks like somebody turned the stamp he used to design his work into a ring. But why would Knight have been carrying it? Because he's Frost's son. They tried to release Frost's personal effects to his next of kin after the case wound down. But if I remember rightly, old Frosty Boy didn't have any family aside from his kid. And the kid was missing. Starting again. So they never got to hand it back to him. Not till later, anyhow. I heard on the grapevine that they found him in the end and gave him the goods. Including the seal, it would seem. Which he turned into a ring and wore until his own death. Okay. I better wrap this up soon so that it doesn't keep dropping. So we're saying Mr. Knight was Mr. Frost's son? The cops don't mess around with stuff like that. They would have made sure before handing it over. And we were looking for somebody connected to the IS-7 incident, who played correspondence chess, right? Wait, so our secret string puller is Bronco Knight? No, it's the other kid. Knight is dead. How could he possibly be involved in our current case? Far out. So our only candidate for a genius mastermind is a guy who already kicked the bucket? That's impossible! How can a dead guy be behind all this? It is a little perplexing. But then, who else could it be? I did so used to enjoy tapping out my little letters in Braille.
Hold it.
In Braille? That's how you wrote all of them? That's right. I have the tools to do so in my cell. So you have to use special tools? I never thought about it before, but I guess that makes sense. And what exactly did you write about, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, this and that, general chit-chat. And chess moves, of course. I sat in my cell and tried to imagine where he might have gone. Huh, okay, let me save. No, don't go to... Why did you go to a different safe? Oh, whatever. Printed rather than handwritten, yeah. Should I present this on here?
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it wasn't... You said that you wrote all of your letters in Braille, is that correct? I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Prosecutor, but you do know about my condition, don't you? That's odd, because the chess diagram was found in Knight's cell. We found a Knight's cell didn't contain any Braille at all. Really? But surely that's impossible. How so exactly? Maybe someone typed Mr. Connis's letter out on purpose? Meaning there may have been some sort of intermediary between the two of them. So then... Yep. Mr. Connis says he wrote his letters in Braille, and yet... the letters received by Mr. Knight contain no Braille at all. It suggests there must be a third party who typed Mr. Connis's letters out. Guess it could have worked the same way on the... Guess it could have worked on the same way on the flip side too, right? Whoever it was could have taken Knight's letters and turned them back into Braille. They could indeed. I think you and Mr. Knight were both communicating with this person, Mr. Connis. The answer you've received. They were written in Braille too, yes. So some mysterious middle person really was retyping the Bronxter's missives? And that same person might well be our secret string puller. Wait, you're trying to say there's another hidden mastermind behind this whole thing? So who's this new one? Bronco Knight, son of Artie Frost, is already dead. But what if the other child from the incident 18 years ago is actually who we've been looking for? Carmelo Gusto's son, huh? But who is he? And where is he? If Night was Frost's son, Gusto's son would have to be... This is who I thought it was. Yesterday. I've known him since we were kids. When both of us were all alone. He doesn't have any family, you see, just like me. Him, but surely not. What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? You're white as a sheet. Of course, it all makes sense. I know exactly who our so-called mastermind is. Who? You have to tell us! I can hardly believe it, but it's somebody we know rather well.
Take that!
It has to be. The person hidden behind all this. The person who forced Chairman Winner's hand by sending the letter to Rosie Ringer. The person who kidnapped Sean and bugged Kay and myself. The person who did the strangest thing of all. Who drugged Kay and carried her up to the roof of the big building. It was the monster. What? Did you really just say what I thought you did? Yes, the monster that was the key to unmasking our mastermind. Oh, I almost forgot. We're doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. Great, so we're gonna have to go to the circus? I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one. Miss Lloyd, can I ask a favor? Who, little ol' me? What kind of favor? You told us you recorded the sound of a Taurosaurus breathing fire. Yeah, she did, and we got the tape. Sure did. Like I said, I didn't precisely see the guy, but boy, did I hear him. Could we listen to the tape? You surely can. Let's see now. The sound of a hot air balloon. Miss Hart, you saw a giant eye at the window of the storeroom, did you not? Yep, snapped me a picture of it too, even if you can't rightly see it so well. Can't see it right now, but... Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Your image analyzer, can we borrow it again? Sure, but what do you want to look at, sir? This photograph right here. Gotcha, I'm on it. In the window then, right? Oh my god. Come on, I forgot I have to zoom in. Yeah, there. There it is. That's... See? I done told y'all. Taurosaurus his own dang self. Yes, there it is at last. The monster commanded by the architect of this whole scheme. Monster? You're finally ready to admit it? That he's dang well real? The big bad bull himself?
Objection!
It showed her sad there when he did, aw. No, because that isn't Taurosaurus at all. It's the eye of a different giant beast entirely. Take a look at this if you would. That very big circus flyer? Oh, wait, look! You see it? The enormous lion balloon. The sounds Miss Lloyd thought was the creature breathing fire. Oh, come on! You're really gonna bring me crushing down to earth like that? That's how balloons fly, huh? They burn gas to make hot air. They do. And our culprit was able to use that balloon to carry Kay up to the roof of the big building without ever going near the elevator. Jeez. So this culprit, they've got something to do with the circus? Circus worker, friend of the Bronxster, son of Gusto. Whoa, 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 you're not serious. You forgot to mention trainee animal tamer. It's hard to believe. Jeez. I don't want to see him with his eyes open, that's creepy. But he's the one who's been pulling the strings this whole time. That's right, Simeon Saint is the one behind all this. Did I go offline? Sorry. Am I still live? Oh, I am. Okay, good. I thought I dropped for some reason. Sorry about that. Simeon, but everything? Really? I don't believe you. We trusted him, and he trusted us. You can't tell me that. Okay, good. Thank you. I was worried for a second. I was like, uh-oh. You can't tell me that was all lies. That would be too horrible. I'm sorry, Kay. Who was that? Hey, where do you think you're going, old man? Nothing escapes you, does it, young pup? My congratulations, Mr. Edgeworth. But now that I know the truth, my business here is done. No, you can't run off. What? No, Mr. Connors, wait! Oh, God! Boof! Boof, boof. Damn it, he disappeared. Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, I'm fine, but... Damn you! Are you alright, Sean? He killed my dad. He did it, right? There's no easy way to say it, but... Sorry, Sean, it would appear that he did. He won't get away with it. I'll make him pay. Somehow, someway, I'll... No, Sean, you mustn't say such things. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. You'll have to forgive us both. I just put the call out, sir. All units are on the lookout for Mr. Connors. I don't mean to hurry everybody, but we'd better be on our way too. Mr. Prosecutor, where do you think we'll find our mastermind? I suppose you're right. We should go after the mastermind right now. He said he had to practice for the show, which I guess means he'll be at the circuit. No, I don't like clowns. But before we leave, oh my god, I just realized years and years ago, I must have seen a picture of what he looks like at some point, because I remember seeing some kind of clown guy in this series, but any game that I played, he never showed up in. So I probably saw what he looks like a long time ago on accident. I don't remember, though, exactly what he looks like, though, so... I just remember when I saw it back then, years ago, I was even creeped out then, too. My Lang voice is the headcanon voice? Oh, that's good. But before we leave, there's something I'd like to ask of you, Agent Lang. There is, what? Once a beast has been sighted, the next step is to plan its capture. When we arrive, there's something we'll need to try and find as a matter of priority. And Detective, I'd like you to look into something that's been bothering me about Sean's kidnapping. Yes, sir? I want to help too, Mr. Edgeworth. Good, there's somebody I'd like you to try and contact. If Saint really is our mastermind, we're gonna need this person's help. Who is it? I never suspected a thing, even though he was right there in front of me. Is it... Who would they try to contact, then? Emma, maybe? For her forensic stuff, or someone else? I messed up. There's no other way of putting it, but I'm going to put things right once and for all. Oh, there we go. Okay, this might be the finale. Oh my god, I don't want to go to the circus. I don't want to go to the circus. I don't want to go. Get me off of Mr. Edgeworth's wild ride. Okay, before I'm gonna double save. Okay, if it starts showing the next part, I'm gonna just Alt F4. Oh, okay, good. It doesn't show it yet. Okay, I'm gonna save here then. Save a third time. Where the screen's black. Okay. Exit. There we go. Okay. Well, that may be where we stop for today. Let's see. Let me put some music back on.